Welcome back, everybody, to the A Show WrestleMania prediction party, man. We are continuing to get this thing rocking, man. This is our biggest show of the year, consistently, always, and we got biggest guests of the year. Trust me, we only bringing big guests to the WrestleMania prediction party. Oh my God! So we have someone who I would say is a consumer of content. That's what I would say
Yeah.
because I feel like I really feel like you can talk about anything if I want. Like we're here, we can talk about basketball, we can talk about movies, we can talk about music, we can talk about wrestling as we're doing here, WrestleMania prediction party. You can catch him on how many different FanDuel, the
Yeah.
boardroom,
Yeah.
etc. with Kevin Durant. We have none other than Ben's Eddie Gonzalez here. Welcome to the A Show. First time ever, man. Welcome.
Nah, thank y'all. And I've been wanting to be on this show since you guys all ran, well, honestly, for a long time. Since you guys trying to get Miz, like since way back. And then when you guys ran AEW and Punk through the ringer, and I know we're not talking about that today, but I was like, yo, this is the best wrestling podcast I've ever heard in my life. I was legit in the gym, like no bullshit. I was on the elliptical, and you guys were literally dropping flex bombs, and I'm like, yo, this shit is a movie, dog. Like
that episode is one of, I think at this point it's like the best, our most listened to episode that we ever, like.
I can see it. That shit was
because
a movie.
after it happened, after it happened, people definitely wanted to hear what we had to say about it. And listen, it's still going on. The saga continues, as they would say.
Nah, I actually reached out that day. I don't know if you remember, but I reached out. I was like, yo, from podcaster to podcaster, like you body.
No, I remember.
Yeah.
I was just like, not even, we don't even got to talk wrestling, but like, yo, the way you set this up, laid this out, and then your recall for just the entire saga. I'm like, yo, this is amazing. This is like great fucking content.
And then putting the Rick Ross beat under it.
Listen, man.
Good times. Good times. Great shit, bro.
Good times. But we're heading over to WrestleMania. WrestleMania, of course, in Hollywood this year, LA this year. It's the biggest. It seems like the biggest WrestleMania that's ever happened, and we say that every year at this point. But it's the way that WWE is moving, the pace that they're moving. It's different. They're selling out every arena that they go to. Their record numbers for every pay-per-view that's been going on for like the last year. They're really in an upswing. And the card that we have here, the matches that we're going to break down with you, we're talking about these big crossover icon Hollywood matches that are going on here. And it shows the real kind of like pull that WWE has and kind of like how they want to take the business. What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to get Bands, I want to get your thoughts on this because again, you're in the sports world and you see, how NBA does it, you see how NFL does it, you see how NCAA does everything. The presentation of WWE going into this mania is completely different than what we've ever seen, right? Like it is something where like I feel like an ESPN wouldn't be ashamed to report on this, or a Bleacher Report where they already reported it, but or like higher tier, sports outlets wouldn't be afraid to do that because they're presenting it like it is like a blockbuster Hollywood type thing, like it's like another sport is, right?
Yeah, I love what they do now. One thing I do love about this run too is it's not built on The Rock, it's not built on Stone Cold, it's not built on Batista, Goldberg. It's built on their reigning champ. It's built on the stories they've been telling all year long. It's built on the guys they've spent time building, and that's a testament to the company and the way they've fully grasped content kind of in the modern world, right? They went to the app real early and they did that. Then obviously the Peacock thing. And I know the elephant in the room is like they're trying to show all this off. They're showing the car off. They're letting everybody know like there's 200 on the dash, because they're trying to get that out the garage. But it really shows their grasp of just how to get content over, and then that line of reality where they can say they're sending their guys to ESPN and they're sending their guys to all these companies and saying like, yo, there's this really weird blur of I'm in kayfabe and then I'm talking like Joe, not Roman Reigns, and there's like, and they've grabbed that. I know the dirt on Vince, and I'm not like a Vince apologist, but I know the dirt on Vince forever was like he doesn't get it. But I feel like the last 4 or 5 years have showed he does truly understand his fan base more than anything, and the company in general, not just Vince. A lot of credit to Triple H, everybody else.
Yeah.
But they understand the fan base and how they're consuming it. I said when I did the show last time, we're not supposed to consume wrestling like this, and I still believe that. Like,
right.
I shouldn't stay up at night and read rumors every night, but I do.
Right.
But they know that we're doing that, and they're like, all right, cool, here we go. Boom, we're rocking with all that stuff you like. And the way they roll out the content, the way they use socials, the way they use YouTube, every outlet they have. And I think it's a testament to that. And then WrestleMania is a 2-day thing now, like two full WrestleManias every year.
Coachella, you know what I'm saying? It's wrestling Coachella, you know what I mean? And to your point, like I've always said this on the show that like even if you can knock them, but they have professionals working with them on what to do. Nick Khan is it's no slouch. When he got signed, that was in Variety, that was in a lot of places because he was the biggest guy over there in the talent field and really the multimedia field. So like when you have professionals working, you start to see the difference. Like I know a lot of people hated like the Land of the Dead thing where they were doing the zombie match, and when they did the Rock's egg thing, I'm like, they got bags for that. They got bags for that. And the future for them, and I think in the foreseeable future, even if they sell the company, is partnerships. And we're seeing now this year, there's a Cinnamon Toast Crunch partnership. Snickers is back. 2K is back. Like they understand really the synergy between entertainment and what this is. And you could go get your pro wrestling somewhere else, but if you're looking for the big blockbuster John Wick MCU type shit, like it's going to be in this company, and they really set that aside in this year for sure.
The partnerships is a great point because it's one of those things where you look and go, shouldn't they have been doing this? And they kind of were, and they were selling actual products, and they were doing. But to actually sponsor a match and say this match is the such and such match, or this, this segment is the such, that's a different thing. But it's really them embrace. I mean, it's like the tagline, and it's what people go to shit on them, right? But it's really them embracing the entertainment aspect of what they do. Right. It's them saying, "Yo, this is a TV show," and in TV shows you have segments that are sponsored by such and such, and you have reality shows that offshoot, and you have all this stuff, and it's fans going, "It's a TV, it's a drama, it's just." Really weird live soap opera, but you know what, I like it, so fuck it, I'm in. Yeah. And they're winning that. They're laughing about that to the bank, and I think that's the way they always should have went, and they finally did it.
And you said that you're kind of casual. You're not as casual as you think. Let's just be clear. How have you felt about Triple H coming in and working with the product? One good point you raised was that these are everyone on this card are people that they've been working with for the whole year, and I didn't even realize that either. Was that like it's not really a lot of part-timers on this card. Like Logan, he got injured, but he was all intents and purposes, he was not positioned as a part-timer at this point last year. So what have you felt about Triple H kind of mixing the real pro wrestling stuff with the entertainment and balancing that after Vince, stepped down?
I like to be skeptic and be like, is this all Triple H? But so many people give him so much credit for all of the changes that happened, obviously when Vince left, that you can't help but do it. And then what he did with NXT, you know that he has a keen eye for this stuff, and whatever you think about the talent he raises up, or the guys he's brought back, the girls he's brought back, he clearly understands like the storytelling and the entertainment of this, and it's great. And I think the way he's gotten celebrities to kind of buy in and do longer programs too is huge, right? They just announced Bad Bunny's coming back, and with Logan, he bought in, like he sold him that, and that guy has so many things going on. I'm actually shocked he's around as much as he is, but clearly likes it. And I think that's the other part. Like he's found guys who like doing this stuff.
Right.
You talk about Ronda all you want. When they got Ronda to sign up, she signed up to be a week-to-week pro wrestler. I'm gonna be on Raw. I'm gonna be on SmackDown every week. And he did the same with Logan. And it's also when Brock was the first one who was there and who had the belt and was like going away for months at a time. That was a huge risk, and they're doing it with Roman, and they're kind of like leaking out now that he's going to disappear for a while. And it's like they recalibrated what we think of a wrestler, of a pro wrestler, how often they're going to be there, and they're actually kind of taking back the territories. I might see Andre once in 3 months, and then he would go to the other territory and do the program, and then he won't cycle back until then.
Right.
And so they're like, yo, we're going to trust our audience to know that, like, yo, our champ still exists in the world, and these other guys can do stuff too. And when he comes back, he's a big deal.
Yeah.
And they're doing that with their other guys too. They're cycling their bigger stars. And the Logan thing fascinates me. I mean, I don't know if we're starting there, but the Logan thing fascinates me because
let's start there.
He's wild talented. Like Look, he's one of those guys when we talk about it, we know he's problematic. He's this, he's all this stuff. He's terrible white dude.
I hate that he makes me like him. I hate that he makes me like him. He cut this promo on Raw, right? And let's just start here. Like the Seth Rollins Logan Paul thing, I think just as a in a vacuum, as a match, we know after last year, Seth needed to have a big match. Because I feel like last year, if there was anybody that was hurt by the Roman Reigns thing, Seth Rollins was the guy that was hurt. He was a heel getting actual reactions. People wanted to cheer him. They were loving the work he was doing. To me, this is the best character of his career. This is the best support he's gotten. He has done something that I feel as though no one since Roman has done, which is ironic because they're basically mirrors of each other at this point. He managed to come back from the Fiend thing. It took Seth so long to come back from that feud because no one took him seriously. And even in COVID era, people were still like, but he was afraid of the Fiend. You know what I mean? He was in the corner. I was at that show when the Fiend came out and Seth was screaming and crying and shit. I was at that show and I said, they might have ruined this guy. It might be cooked. But he came back. He did the Cody match. He took a couple L's all last week. Last year. But this year, I feel like this is his redemption year where it's literally like you need to give him his props. So when we found out or we kind of guessed that it was going to be Logan Paul, we were like, yo, these two are they're also mirrors of each other in terms of athleticism, in terms of charisma, in terms of just the way that they work. I mean, we're looking at, in my opinion, Seth is kind of like, I won't say he's like the HBK alike because there's so many people in WWE that try and be HBK. He's like the closest guy to just that attitude of it. And then you have Logan Paul where like he cuts his promo on Monday. He understands crowd timing. He understands how to be a heel. He understands what to say, how to come out. The guy with the Prime sign, he shouted him out in the promo. Like it was all so seamless because he's an entertainment guy, and I love to call this term. I got it from Cornette, which I told you he's my Joe Rogan. Celebrity wrestling. We're in the celebrity wrestling age, and this is the celebrity wrestling match. How like Meelz, like how big do you think it is that they actually trusted Seth finally with a celebrity match?
I thought it was huge, man. I felt like he should have. This is something that's been coming for a long, long time. I felt like he should have at least. I mean, granted, Goldberg would have ran through him, but I feel like he should have got at least a Goldberg match, like a big marquee match at WrestleMania, something like that. But kind of going back to Logan Paul and touching on Logan Paul, you realize he's been affiliated with WWE for almost 2 years now. This stretches back to that first post-pandemic WrestleMania where he was involved, ironically enough, with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in their match. Yeah. You know, he comes back a year later. He has this tag team match with The Miz, and he's going against, I believe it was the Mysterios. And you know, that's the cute. It's cute. It's how you introduce people. Do the tag match. We've seen, you know, Hulk Hogan and Jay Leno, Dennis Rodman and DDP. Like, you know, it's the cute way to introduce people into the thing. Let's give him a tag match. They did it with Ronda too a couple years ago at WrestleMania too. But then he has this match against The Miz, and we're like. You watch that kind of like frog splash from the top rope through the table, and you're like, God damn, wait, hold up. Wait a damn minute.
With the phone.
No, he didn't do that yet. But then you move forward. He moves forward a couple months to this match with Roman Reigns. And everyone in their mama was like, why is Roman Reigns facing Logan Paul? And granted, we had questions too. It didn't make sense. But you know what? The end result, Crown Jewel, that match was one of the best matches, one of the best performances. I say performances as well because, like, I want to shout him out individually. Roman Reigns is a GOAT. One of the best performances. He tore shit in his knee in that match and continued to go and then returned early.
Yeah,
at Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
like this man. It's hard. Terrible white guy. But it's hard to root. I'm like, damn, he really that guy. Like he really is.
I remember the Japanese Suicide Forest. Nigga.
Yeah, all this stuff, and we're just like, damn. But he might do the buckshot lariat better than Hangman Page himself.
That's his move, you know. So
like, that's his move, low key.
So the match with Roman, and we know what Roman is and what he represents, and we know it's gonna be a lot to beat him and. I thought it was going to be Rock. I still think could be shenanigans and it eventually be Rock. But like in that match,
let's get this out the way right now. Let's get this out the way right now, Bans. Let's get this out the way right now.
All right.
with the publicity, the negative publicity that The Rock has right now, and the brand that WWE is attempting to build, they do not want The Rock to get booed at their biggest show of the year just for appearing. I feel like if it was him against Roman is just a better promo right now. Yeah. Let's just be clear. He's just a better promo. They would be cheering Roman because he's there to them every week. And the thing that's funny about Roman is that even if he's not there, the remnants of him are there. The Usos are there. Solo is there. Paul will show up. It's remnants of him that are just like, oh, he's connected to Roman, so he's here in spirit. That's what Brock didn't have. He didn't have a presence on the show every week because he didn't have like a Usos with him. But I look at the Rock thing, and I was glad when those hit pieces came out because I was telling y'all that he's not coming to WrestleMania, and this is why. Because Black Adam flopped. He got fired. He got fired from DC. No one gets fired. Paul Rudd ain't getting fired. You, dog. The Rock got fired. So, like, they're probably Khan's probably looking at him like, listen, Rock, lay low for a little while. When Roman's a baby face, you can come back as a heel because it'll be easier for people to boo you because they already don't like you anyway. They think you ruined Shazam. They think you ruined Black Adam. They think you ruined DC. Come back as that character. Come back as Hollywood Rock. So I had to interrupt you there. The Rock's never showing up. He's not showing up, bro.
It's Cody's year, unfortunately.
I'll say this, and part of this is his fault. But that A&E thing they did, him and Cena, that just dropped a few weeks back,
and it went viral. I was like, "What's this?"
So positive. Cena slanted, and part of it's the Rock's fault. I don't think he sat down, or if he did, he didn't sit down for long. Cena did a lot of the talking for that show.
Yeah,
it was so Cena slanted. I was shocked they buried Rock in the way they did. I was shocked they took the promo thing head on with the pin. I was shocked they did that much revealing of that. Now, they gassed both of those matches a ton, and I love both those guys. Those are two of my favorites.
Those matches
they gassed the hell out of both of those matches. They completely glossed over the injury, all of that.
Yeah.
But I was shocked, and I think there's an understanding from all parties that what The Rock was at his height, it doesn't translate as much to now. It doesn't translate as much to this era. There's like a Drake bar. It's like, I wonder if they take the greats from the past and compare us. I wonder if they'd ever survive in this era where you take all your skeletons, your closet, and all that shit. That's like Rock to me. And it's funny because when Stone Cold showed up last year, he didn't say a word. He showed up, he wrestled real quick. Yes. And it was like, boom, that works. You know what I mean? And I get why they're reluctant to dig in that well again because they can't have Stone Cold doing the same promo for 3 months leading up to a match with whomever, Bobby Lashley or whatever. But The Rock, like, when they did the Cena stuff, they trotted him out every week and they said, let's have promos and let's do shit on the screen and let's do other stuff. Yeah. And it just won't hit. I just thought like old carny wrestling fan brand, like the real king of that family coming back and saying, yo, like the real tribal leader coming back and saying, boom, here we go. And then winning and then losing in SummerSlam or whatever. I'm like, that's the story. That's the story they would tell.
You know what? It looked nicer last year for sure.
Absolutely. Yes. It looked great. It looked great. But then Cody caught fire. Yep. Logan Paul came in, who we're talking about now. Logan Paul came in. Like again, there's young energy out there. Yeah, and I think that there's just, unless there's a need for The Rock, I think that his time, and this may be controversial, his time may be better suited against someone that isn't Roman Reigns. And maybe to make somebody that isn't Roman, he's made already. Like I feel like that it just wouldn't hit the same. But in terms of Seth and Logan.
Yeah, I want to circle back. So circling all that back to Logan and to the match with Roman, that's why for a split second I thought Logan could win. Like, first off, it was an incredible match. One of the best matches I've seen in a long time. The modern era, whatever the era is called, and all that stuff. And it's a testament to Logan that he's able to reach that level. He's charismatic. He's athletic in the ring. He, I don't know the work he puts in, but he clearly puts in a lot of work. He's clearly a fan of the art form. Like
HBK trained him.
When he gets in that moveset bag, I'm like, yo, what? And then he had the viral moment. That was like on network television. Like people were showing that, that's what you want when you have these matches. And so I'm like, when Roman loses, it has to be to somebody he can then feud with for a year or disappear for a year and come back and be like, now we're going to feud. And you ran the company for a year and it's beef, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the kind of guy that they want to hand it to. He can carry matches. He can work on the mic. He can make you love him. He can make you hate him. He can do both. And he's a celebrity. Like, in the end of the day, he's a celebrity. Like, Roman's a celebrity, and he can carry the brand in other places.
It ain't like a David Arquette celebrity. It's like an actual, like, real, like, because the thing is, Logan Paul and David Arquette, I hate to even compare the two because Logan is just so much better than David Arquette ever was. But I think that in a way, yeah, like there was an idea that, like, again, this could have been his Floyd Mayweather, where it was like, oh, he's gonna shock the world, and I think that, you know, after that, everyone kind of bought in. But my issue was, don't make him a babyface. So now with the Seth program, you have the perfect person to turn Seth back into a red hot babyface, right next to Cody, wherever Cody lands after Mania, and now you have a match where these two can go at it, and I think maybe on night one, it is confirmed April 1st. It will be on night one. Seth is Mr. Night One in my eyes. He's Mr. Night One. He had the Cesaro match, he had the Cody match, he's got this match. I think it has a potential. This, of anything we're talking about, this has a potential to be the match of the weekend. Potentially. I don't know what Cody's gonna pull out. He might do 5 crossroads in a row. He's not off the wrist. But I think this might be it. And I think, honestly, it's about time. It's time somebody put Logan in his place. I know he's got a pretty shitty win-loss record, but I don't think that April 1st is going to be his day. I think Seth Rollins is going to win this match.
Where you at, Meelz?
You're on mute.
My bad. I don't know. Logan is pretty good. Like,
Seth is taking too many L's, man. I think they're trying to build.
That's the thing. Like, he's still Seth. He's been taking L's the entire year. Gosh, listen, man. The worst thing they do is the best thing they can maybe do is have Logan win, and then run this back in Puerto Rico so everyone can boo him there.
Oh, okay. I did not think that. I did not.
Man is the most hated man in Puerto Rico. One of the most hated men in Puerto Rico currently.
They're gonna throw blades in the ring. They're gonna fucking throw glass in the ring. To do that. But I was thinking Jake is definitely gonna come out, right? Jake is definitely gonna try it out.
Yeah.
And I think that if you do Puerto Rico, I still think Seth's gonna win. You could do a tag match in which you could have someone with Seth against, I mean, let's say Cody does beat Roman. You could do Seth and Cody teaming up against the Paul brothers. That is must see shit right there. The only thing is that we don't know if Jake has ever trained. We don't know if he's like training. I know that there was rumors that he was there with Logan while they were training, but this guy's doing boxing training for most of the year, so you never know.
I'm gonna go with Logan.
Wow.
Bam, what you got?
I'm gonna go with Logan too. I think the right call is like the super heel finish. Like, he needs to really cheat to win. He needs to do something evil or whatever. Like, boos are the new cheers. Like, if you make him the biggest heel, he's one of your biggest stars in the company. And I think that's exactly what they need from him. So have him beat Seth. You keep Seth hot by it being some crazy cheat, and he enters whatever program he enters afterwards. But
you gotta do the punch kick out. That is important. He's knocked Seth out 2 times already.
Yeah.
You gotta do that moment in the match and have him kick out. The crowd is going to go fucking crazy when that happens. Maybe he gets brass knuckles from his brother. Who knows? But there's definitely going to be some BS. I think the Miz will get involved too. Honestly, if it's Seth and Miz versus the Paul brothers, what you thinking, Meelz?
That ain't happening. I don't think that's happening. But I could see the Miz getting involved. But yeah, I don't think it's happening. I think Logan walks away with this. I think it's an amazing, athletic ass match. That's what I'm looking for. And we see some things like these. This is some like Street Fighter shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like he's Vega, like Logan's Vega, and who would be fucking Seth? Like Ryu? I don't know. Like it feels like some Street Fighter shit to me.
Seth is Ken for sure, and Logan is the new guy from Street Fighter 6, Luke. If you play Street Fighter 6. Next match, I'm gonna call this next match the "It's Not Gonna Work for Me, Brother" match. We're going to Brock Lesnar versus Omos, and there's a lot of backstory, a lot of finagling that has happened to have this match go on. So mid February last month, Bray Wyatt comes out and says, whoever wins the match between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, I got next. And I said, that's interesting that you would say this on a Friday right before Elimination Chamber. Let's see what happens. Elimination Chamber happens. Brock Lesnar is about to lose the match, hits Bobby Lashley with a low blow, and immediately shuttles Bobby Lashley into the Bray Wyatt program. And I said, I guess Brock did not want to work with Bray Wyatt. So you leave Brock with nothing to do, and you leave Bobby Lashley with Bray Wyatt. So for the last couple of weeks, maybe 6 weeks now, we've had two guys orbiting, not sure what to do. Bobby is not on the card at this point. At the time of this recording, Bobby Lashley is not on the card, and Bray Wyatt will more than likely not be on the card for some unresolved reason. And Brock Lesnar gets Omos. Initially, it's been reported that that Brock wanted Omos, that he asked for Omos because he didn't want to work with anybody else. He didn't want to work with Gunther, which we thought was going to be the natural program for Brock this year, but he didn't want it, and he wanted to work with Omos. Initially, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Number one, Brock, come on. Like, get over the Bray shit. This is the second time he's ducked the Bray match in his career for Mania. and the first time he did it, he ended up with Dean Ambrose. The first time he did.
But as the kids would say, bad for business. You know what I'm saying?
Both ways, because that match was fucking ass. And now you against Omos. And again, at first I was like, and then they did that segment where he pulled the fist out and then he put it in front of Brock's face. And that shit got over 5 million views or something like that on YouTube. And I said, people actually want to see this. And I understand why. Because again, it is Brock Lesnar in an unfamiliar space with an unfamiliar opponent that is not Roman. It's not one of these small guys he can toss around. It is with Omos, somebody who, even though he doesn't win big matches often, he's someone who is still an attraction. And I feel as though Triple H has been smart to use him that way.
Yeah, it's the larger than life attitude, larger than life brand that WWE's kind of built itself on. I mean, by nature of this working with the crowd is because the people have been conditioned over the last 30, 40, 50 years that these big men are attractions, and these big men have these big matches. I mean, you go through the history with Andre, Big Show, Undertaker, Kane, Braun, everybody, like these big men have these big attraction matches. And this is the first time Brock Lesnar's in this kind of role. You know, it's going to be a match. And you know what? It's going to be Brock's. I feel like this is Brock's. This is his best bet for the weekend. He's like, I can get in. I can maybe fly in Saturday morning. Depending on which this day is, maybe I'll fly in Sunday morning. You don't need to catch me at the Hall of Fame. I can get this match over with. I can do my stretches and stuff. Match gonna be 6 minutes, 7 minutes tops. And then I'm out of there. Or maybe I'm back to the hotel.
Get paid $2 million to show up. 6-minute match. He's gonna say, listen, kid, I'm gonna give you 6 German suplexes, gonna try and F5 you, hurt my back, you're gonna give me the choke bomb, I'm gonna kick out, you're gonna give me 3 more, I'm gonna kick out, and I'm finally gonna give you the F5 and I win and I'm out. How about that? And then that's literally all he's gonna do. Like, this man
and enjoy the rest of the weekend. He's like, yo, where's the open bar?
Yeah, he knows how to make money. Bands, what do you think about this match?
I mean, we can see the match right now. You just said it. Like he's gonna spend X amount of 4 minutes trying to pick him up on his shoulders, and he's gonna finally get the F5 after he kicks out a couple times, and it's gonna be a match. But you guys are right. Like the fabric of wrestling as we know it, it's built on this really gigantic human, right?
Yeah,
that's the attraction. The really gigantic human, and the other less gigantic human beating him somehow, right? This is the greatest story of all time, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, and that's how they built this company. That's how they built this event. And so they're going to lean into that. And we're going to spend 5 minutes watching him trying to pick him up. And he's going to eventually hit the F5, and he's going to win the match. And he's going to go back to the jet, and he's out of there. You know, exactly how he wants to.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have 10 minutes of screen time total. Entrance, match, leaving, everything. And so it's going to be a match. It's going to be when he picks him up and he does this shit, I mean, he might mess around and do it twice.
Right.
We're going to be amazed. The crowd's going to be amazed. Everybody's going to cheer. And that's what it is. It's an attraction match. So Brock's obviously going to win. Like, this isn't how he goes away for a year. He's going to obviously win, but it's fine. It'll be first 2 hours, and it'll be daylight out still. It'll be
so. The rumor is that Brock is done after Mania. His contract's up. It's been a very fast 2 years. He came back at 2021 SummerSlam. We always knew it was a 2-year deal. Or some sort of 2-year, 1.5-year deal. It's up now. But does he come back? Is he going to take an extended amount? I honestly am at the point where I feel as though I love Brock Lesnar, but if he's not at a point where he wants to start putting guys over and he wants to start making guys the same way Kurt Angle did, the same way Randy Orton started to do it, the same way Cena started to do it, if he's not going to be at that point, then I don't think that there's any need for him in the company. I know that he's probably closer to Vince also. I think that might be another issue too, is that he's a Vince guy through and through. He loves Vince McMahon, period. I don't think him and Triple H have that relationship. I just don't. I think that Triple H, they probably see each other, nod heads, Triple H tells him what to do, and he goes out there. But with Vince, that's like a father-son relationship between those two. And I think that if this is a company that Brock feels as though has passed them by because you're getting Garganos on the TV and you're getting Finn Balor's on the TV, and there's really not a lot of big guys on the TV, then I feel like he might be like No Country for Old Men. He feels like he's in an era that doesn't really need his type of cowboys, ironically, anymore.
I love Brock. We just said the same stuff about The Rock. Like I look at him and I go, does this even work anymore? How long are we getting the rub of he actually won the UFC heavyweight title? Now that's a real accomplishment, and he did it, and there's no slouch for that shit.
Yeah. But
how long does that last as we watch him walk in and be this big ass dude and go, man, he's really that's a bad motherfucker, or whatever they think we're thinking in our heads. And so, he clearly has no willingness to work long programs. He really put guys over.
Unless
know what I mean?
Unless he's Roman, he don't want to really work no other long programs.
He broke the streak. Like, I'm not sure what's left for him to do other than be this random man. In order to be there, he's gonna have to go away for some time. Like, he doesn't even want to come out and talk. Like, since he came back, so he has a weird place in history to me, because I look back and when he was full-time wrestler Brock, and they shot him to the moon. He handled it. He did it right, and he made the transition to other stuff. And he was all that stuff. He took all the risks. He did all the things. This second half of his career where he's the part-time guy, he's kind of like the first part-time guy. He's facing zero. It's like, it's hit or miss for me. And the ways they had to have him lose, when you do the Money in the Bank and you Seth Rollins win, just the ways they had the convoluted way. They literally had to put a ring on him with the bulldozer to beat him. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
how am I supposed to believe Omos is going to pin him if a bulldozer?
And so
he's probably going to win because Roman been beating his ass for the last year and a half, 2 years now.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not sure what use we have of Brock anymore, and it's like, it's fine. I'm sure he has great other shit he can do. He probably wants to do other stuff at this point.
Let him go away for a while. Let Gunther build up his resume a little bit more, and let's revisit this next year in Philly and see if that's something that's interested to him. But we're gonna get a little personal with this next one. This is a match that's been being built since last September. I think this is the longest build to the match on the card this year, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, I'm talking about the Mysterio powers collide. Rey Mysterio versus Dominik Mysterio. Let's just stop the cap right now. We're recording this on the day that they're probably going to announce the match, so we're already going to put it up there. It's going to happen.
Whatever. It is. It's going to happen, but I couldn't imagine in any eternity. I mean, this is the only place it could happen, WWE. But I can't imagine fighting my dad my dad will whoop my ass, to be honest with you. I can't imagine me getting away. I mean, this has been built up through all these online segments. Man comes up and interrupts, brings his girlfriend to Thanksgiving and messes it up. Bring his girlfriend to Christmas, gets locked up. They call the police on him. I'm like, damn, this is real family. I've seen this.
They treated Rhea like he was bringing Black China home. Get her out the house. I'm like, damn, this is a former NXT champion, bro. What you do?
I'm like he's dating up. I'm getting proud of my son. He brings her home.
Damn, what the fuck? But no, I think that what is really cool about this is that it coincides with an announcement that none of us expected. It was not rumored. It was not leaked. Nobody had a clue that Rey was going into the Hall of Fame. And like, I almost in a way feel like this shit is like almost a work. Like, it doesn't feel like he's going to the Hall of Fame. It feels like the Hall of Fame is the story and not him just going to the Hall of Fame.
You know, I would like him not to get beat up during this Hall of Fame speech. Just because that's not like in years and years of doing Hall of Fame speeches. I mean, there's probably been one person who's got, and it was not even someone tried to tackle Bret Hart and the rest of the roster came and beat that boy up. But I would hope it doesn't spring in this. Do it afterwards or something like film it for .com. Do something afterwards. But I would rather Rey Mysterio get through a speech, talk all his things. But this program, it's like a little bit reminiscent of the old like Undertaker Kane thing. Like, I will not fight my brother type of deal. I will not fight my son. I'm glad Rey Mysterio is that kind of dad. I don't want to fight my son, even though my son wants to fight me. But I'm pretty sure when push comes to shove, go ahead.
Man, if your son, I was coming. I was coming with this. Your son, handsome guy. If your son came up and said, "Yeah, let's squabble on the biggest stage of the year, WrestleMania," and you never did anything, you were all the way hanging with KD. You're at the games. I had to go through birthdays, Christmases without you. Are you squaring up right away, or are you doing what Ray does and said, I can't fight my son, man. I can't do it.
I'm definitely on Ray's arm. It's such a funny like you said, only in wrestling, right? Only in this company, only for this event could this happen. But like, that's the story of the match too, right? When they do it, like, he doesn't want to go too hard, right? He doesn't want to like whoop his son's ass, and then maybe he just has to, or maybe he loses because of that. I thought he was gonna lose until he essentially came out. The rumors come out, like the Hall of Fame story comes out. Then the subsequent leak is that, he's not retiring yet, but he's thinking about it. He was gonna retire, but now he's gonna keep going. So I'm like, this is fire as a retirement match. Nobody ever retires, but you put your son over your last match, you're out.
Yeah, I think the big moment in this match is, and I think we could all agree here, is when Rey finally puts his hands on Dominik. They should hold off on it if they can. I think this is the one match they don't need the brawl. You know what I mean? Before the thing, like, if they can hold off on it until Rey finally like hulks up and fights him at the day of the match, I think you got maybe a top 3 pop of the night. Like, night is on. Like, I think people are waiting for Rey to fight back for Dom, or fight back against Dom, and I think that, again, that's going to be one of the biggest stories of the matches is, can Rey pull the trigger when it's time and put his son away?
Can he 619 his son?
Exactly. And
as his son is laying on the ropes and he's looking at him from afar, can he say, I'm gonna swing around and kick that motherfucker?
You see flashes of da.
Yeah. All this other stuff in that.
You can see it now, right? You can see the buildup as they're sitting in the ring, and like, Dominik attacks him and he slides out. He's like, no, I won't do this shit. And he gets back in, and maybe he tries to lock him because no, I won't do it. I won't do it. And finally kicks out of a pin or something. And he just whoops his ass. Like, you can see it. And you, like you said, big, like, might be the biggest pop of the night. One of the biggest ones of the weekend. But as soon as he starts whooping his ass, boom, it's a match. And it's going to be way different. And I'm excited to see it. Like, we all grew up with Rey Mysterio, right? And he's still got that little aura to him. And I just watched him cussing out some dudes at the airport about his autograph. And it's and it's like, leave Rey Mysterio alone. He's a fucking legend. Leave him alone. So I'm happy they're finally getting this. You know what I mean? Like, it was an idea for so long. Like, we do it. I'm happy he's finally getting this, because he's definitely faded back to the background over the last few years. But Rey has to win, right? Like, that's the story of this, right? He has to overcome the evil and put his son back in his place.
No one has actually put Dom in his place. And I think that's the key, is that no one's actually like legitimate. They've beaten him up, but no one's ever like beaten him yet. So you could go two ways here. You got another pay-per-view in May. You got Puerto Rico. They love Rey there. That's why I'm not too keen on thinking that he's gonna stop here. Maybe next year he'll stop, but I would say you could have Rey win here and they could do it again in Puerto Rico, or you could have Rey lose here and they could do it again in Puerto Rico and they could do a fucking I Quit match or something like that, or mask versus hair match, which is popular over. You know what I'm saying? Like you could realistically do those two things because Dom is growing out his hair. His hair is really long now, and I think like Dom say, I beat you, but I want the mask. You know what I'm saying? Or he could say, you didn't beat me for real. I want your mask, and I'll put my hair on the line. It's one of the oldest kind of Mexican traditions in matches, and I think that like you get this first match out the way, see what Dom can do, and you build on that. So I think either way, you're getting a rematch. I just don't think Rey hangs it up in LA, but I'll go out on a limb and I'll say Rey probably wins this match, and I would say that if Rey's done, we'll have this conversation in May on what I think will happen with Rey then.
You sold me on hair versus mask, by the way. I'm in. I'm all. Let's do it. I need it.
Yeah, no. I need that too. But I think Dom is gonna win. I kind of feel like this is the big win. If you ever wanted to solidify him as any, you're gonna have Dominik Mysterio at this point moving forward probably longer than Rey Mysterio for sure. So if there's any point you wanted to solidify him as an actual talent, give him a WrestleMania moment that he can remember, because this is definitely a WrestleMania moment. You do this on this biggest stage. I think Rey can get his win back, and then third match we get the hair versus mask match. But I really think I think Dom needs this moment. I think it's so easy to take advantage of your father's feelings at this point.
Right.
If it's continued, because this reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever, Vance, have you ever watched WrestleMania 17, Vince McMahon versus Shane McMahon?
I have before, not recently, but I have.
Well, go back and check it out.
I will do it.
It's a doozy. Like there's adultery involved, comatose spouses, daughters, sons, Mick Foley, everybody of the fact. I'm not sure.
This sounds like WrestleMania 17 content. This sounds exactly like what I thought WrestleMania 17 would be.
I don't know if they'll do all of the Gaga for it, but I do feel like we're still in the first act of the phase,
which is crazy because this has been going on since September. So I guess after the match, we're going into Act 2 of where does we go after this. And if Dom wins, he does get that I beat my dad, I beat the legend, I beat a Hall of Famer, and you get that shit-eating grin. Because in my opinion,
I second teardrop on his eye. You know what I'm saying? Put a second one.
Mama gonna be there though. In one of these matches, Mama Mysterio is gonna be there, and I think that's gonna be the one that's gonna hurt. But speaking of personal, lastly, the last match on the big time Hollywood celebrity wrestling docket, John Cena, the Destroyer, versus Austin Theory. And before we get to this match, I want to hear from you.
This for the U.S. Championship, right?
It is for the U.S. Championship. Okay. I want to hear from you two. Did Austin Theory get buried by John Cena? And is he buried? And is he Here's my thing with Austin Theory. They've said his career has been over 3 times this year. And every time they say his career is over, he manages to come back even stronger and even better. I'm not really sold on him in ring, but I don't think he was buried by John Cena a month ago. What do you guys think?
I'm with you. Like, I don't think he can get buried. Like, to me, he almost got Roman Reigns in that we all knew Vince loved him. Vince was literally on screen saying how much he loved him and giving him all these great things, and everybody's like groaning. But he made it through that. So, like, I don't think he can get buried. I think, look, John telling him how it is and shitting on him, and that's a good program. That's like, we'll talk about who can win this match, but he shouldn't drop the title. Like, that shouldn't be the point of John Cena coming here. Even if he does, if it's a great match with John Cena, it's like, yo, he did a program with John Cena. It was a great match, and there's rub from that he can carry on to whatever's next with him. So, no, I don't think he's buried. I think the fact that he got through the Vince bro love affair, that was when he was buried. So now he's come out better for it. I'm not the greatest fan of him either. I'm kind of with you. Like, I think there's a place for him. I don't think he's the next John Cena. But I don't think he's buried. I think he needs to kind of get shit on by John. Like that. We can talk about Cena too. Like, I feel like that got to be the point of Cena going forward as he comes back. Like he needs to be kind of a douche and say, "Yo, I'm like the shit. You guys are trying to, you know." He became what he said The Rock was, and he needs to lean in that now. Like he needs to do that.
Yeah.
I think first of all, I can see why people aren't. Austin Theory is, while I do think he's good and I think he's talented and he's very, very young, he's kind of like really the same muscly white guy that they've been trying to sell for like 20 years, maybe longer. But I think he isn't buried for the fact that this continues to add fuel to his fire. It doesn't seem as a character that he takes this and he kind of just like completely dwells on it in this situation. It only adds more so Austin Theory can come back and when he wins, give you a big fuck you. I mean, that's really at the end of the day what these kind of segments and what these moments are. And you want to maximize the John Cena moment as much as he's there. You want him to have this promo. You want that to go viral. You don't necessarily want to see John Cena and the first time he comes back and get his ass beat by some kid. You know what I'm saying? Let him do what he does. He scorched him on the mic. I think Austin Theory in real time realized how much of a distance there is between him and him. He got off like the ball spot joke, and it was like, nigga, I got more in the, I got a couple more, baby.
This nigga Cena turned around and said, he pointed his head. I was like,
yeah, I was like, damn, you can't shake him. He's John Cena. You know what I'm saying? He's been around. He's an institution. He's like, yes, I got a ball spot, and he's the type of goofball who will pat his ball spot and be like, yes, it's there. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go at it a little extra with John Cena, and I think the way you do that is to elevate your game, and I think that's what this match is. I mean, this match is it's been a long time in the making. It's a far cry, and it's a very far cry from last year's match, which was him versus Pat McAfee. And I think this is like the continued elevation of Austin Theory. He didn't get to cash in Money in the Bank. This is all adding fuel to the fire. Like all of this is adding fuel to that moment, that Miz moment. Miz wins WWE Championship. He was never supposed to win it. No one likes him. He was always shitted on this entire time, and now he's done it so he can give a big fuck you to everybody that's there. I think that's what we're building towards.
I agree. I think Austin he's so young. He's so young, bro. Like he still has so many years to go. He's kind of like, and again, people when he came in, he got a lot of labels. He got the Randy Orton label. He got the John Cena label. He had that look. He still has that look. I think that in order for him to break the talk, for him to be the Austin Theory, not the next John Cena, the next Randy Orton, the next whoever, the next muscly white guy, as Meelz said, he has to do this match and he has to show why he's different. You need a new finisher, brother. You need a new everything. You know what I mean? You need a new look to go with that, because right now he has that title, and I don't really believe in the title. You know what I mean? I believe it could be better served for somebody else. Like if you want to make him a main event guy in a championship guy like a Cody, then we need to see something in this match with John Cena. And I know John Cena's best days are far, far, far away from him at this point. I'm not expecting a Cena versus AJ Styles here. I just don't think it's going to be possible. But what I am expecting is for Austin to up his storytelling game, because he's never been able to tell a story in the ring the way John Cena can get that story out of him. And in terms of a winner, Cena ain't taking his title to no damn red carpets. And that boy is filming right now a movie. So I think he loses here. But I think that the one thing people have a hang up over is John Cena saying, you could beat me at WrestleMania, and that'll probably be the worst thing for your career. So I'm wondering what creative has for him if they have him win this match. And it can't be Bobby Lashley again. It can't be anything else again. It has to be something substantial.
John Cena an asshole for saying that, because why would you?
Damn, that means like, because he's not gonna get Cody.
What,
right?
He's supposed to lose? Like, he's supposed to lose? Like, would that be the worst? Would it be better to lose? I mean,
I actually think he's in a great spot, and the age thing is a great point. And what's the old development spot? The OVW? Was that what he looks to be straight out of that? Like he does. Like he's still developing, and I think wherever they go, like this feels like the spot in the docs. When we watch the doc in 10 years, it's like I still hadn't found my character yet. I still hadn't found like I had to put the real me in it and like really like lean into that. And like this is like episode, it's like the first 30 minutes, which is crazy because he's fucking been on the main stage for so long now.
Right.
But I think it could go both ways because him losing could turn him into an entirely different guy, right? And it could really drag him down and make him evil or whatever it turns him into be. It's beyond just chicken shit hill, right?
Yeah.
Him winning and he has to get some rub off that. They had to do something with that belt. He's one of the guys who he's really hurting from the universal belt. Like if there was 2 belts, there would be way more room for him to do some shit. Him and Cody would make sense for a belt. Like there's a lot of guys that would make sense.
He might have actually cashed in and won if there were 2 belts.
Exactly. And so that's what happens when you have, Roman Reigns and he's reigning over everything, no pun. And we have to find the right guy to beat him and all that. But I think he has to win because, like you said, Cena's not going to run around that belt. The match, the whole match is the story they tell, and what he has to happen for him to win. You know what I mean? Right. Is Cena going to put him over after? Or are they going to do the handshake and all the shit, or is he going to go like super heel? Because everybody loves John Cena now. We were all indifferent on John Cena for 2 decades. And now he's Peacemaker. He's all this shit. He's this funny dude. He's like, he finally like did what we said. Like he didn't go heel, but he was like, I'm the guy. Like this is me. You know what I mean?
He's gonna do it his way.
Yeah, he's like he finally put the real him in the character. Like we were so him like really going crazy on John Cena. Maybe that's the way he does it. Maybe he does some shit and just beats the shit out of him with a chair or whatever, and he wins.
It's getting and the thing about this show is that there's a big lack of stipulation, and I guess you have a fucking show there where there's going to be a Hell in a Cell. You kind of have to do that. But I feel like this could have had a really cool stipulation too. But it's giving HBK Jericho at WrestleMania 19, and I'm hoping that they can Cena can play the hits, and Theory can kind of work from under, and then kind of find some way to win this match. I know that the Jericho lost that match between the HBK, but I think Theory will definitely come out on top here. And we'll see. Do you guys think this is night 1 or night 2? Does Cena got to get out of there, or is he chilling in LA for a couple days?
I think night 2, just because like it seems like night 1 is loaded already. Let's keep guys around for. My thing with this is, if we knew that Cena could stick around for a little bit more of this, it would give me way more intrigue about how this goes.
Right.
Yeah. Because if he could lose the belt, if he could get the belt and hot shot it right back, that'd be way different.
Yeah.
And it might help. I don't know. But
what if Cena wins and he puts the belt up for an open challenge on Monday, and that's how you get the belt off of him? That's Cena's gonna be on Raw. That's automatic. Okay, gotta watch. Cody or Roman have won the title. They're gonna talk on Raw. That's Cena, the winner of the main event. That's whoever else is coming. Logan Paul shows up, whatever. That would be like, for all intents and purposes, if Cena did win and we're going into a Raw that could potentially be the biggest Raw of the year, that's where I would be like, okay, I could see it. But for Cena to do that, he'd have to lose it to somebody that's debuting that could immediately go into facing Austin Theory, and it can't be like a Gargano thing or whatever.
What I'm wondering is that goes to, did they convince him to bump twice, right? Like Cena's a lifer, but is he going to bump 2 nights in a row? The one guy I think that would kind of make sense if that's the route they go, and they're bringing all their guys in the Monday after WrestleMania, and they're bringing the NXT guys up, and they're doing the whole thing, is the Steiner kid. Bring him up, let him beat Cena and shoot him to the moon, because they're not going to slow walk him when they bring him up. Like, he's going to be right in the mix, and he should be. He's fucking incredible. Maybe it's that.
Braun. Yeah, you could do Braun, you could do Melo. These are 2. Braun is someone that I think Cena's.
I love Melo too.
Yeah, like I think he's posted Braun before or something on his Twitter or Instagram or something. You could do Gargano. He's posted him too. There's a lot of guys that could realistically go in there and be shot right into a feud with Theory for that title if you take it off of John Cena that day. Or you could just have Theory do an open challenge and then him he beat Cena already. He doesn't need a title. Yeah. He beat Cena. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But that is, of course, all of the big time marquee matches. Vance, thank you so much. This has been amazing. We got an hour out of this. Just talking shit.
Yo, I think you had 15 minutes in mind, and then we started talking about Rock, and we didn't even shit on Bray Wyatt yet. Like I wanted to. Like That was my whole motive, was to come in here and say I wouldn't wrestle fucking Bray Wyatt either if I was a Brock. I know that makes me a bad wrestling fan, but I absolutely despise, not the human. I'm sure he's great. No, he's kind of not great either. He got JoJo and she was like 19 and he was married, and like he's kind of not a human either. But I despise everything that he is. And maybe it's because I'm not 10. Maybe it's because I'm not 10. I don't know.
It's the entrance. It's the entrance. It's everything. I love horror movies. So like that shit, I'm into that. But when the ring bell, when the ring bell goes off, he has to have a match. And listen, everyone's heard me say I'm willing to give him a chance if he can actually do this. And he did not show us that. So I'm like, I'm back on what I was on before he left. And now again.
Yeah, if you were a Bray Wyatt enjoyer, that would have hurt. That would hurt my soul a little bit.
Exactly.
I think they picked the wrong brother.
Hey man, they both there. You just don't listen, man. Bo Dallas is there.
Yeah, he's there. I think he's healthy.
I remember seeing he got a so I remember they were talking about he got a gig.
Hey,
like
man.
I mean, we can talk to these guys all day, but I just never got it. Even in the very beginning, like with the lantern and the whole thing, I'm like, get in the ring. Like you wrestle once. Like what is you? Who are like? I don't know. I hope. I'm the guy that hopes Stone Cold and The Rock appear. By the way, like I hope they both appear. I actually hope Rock is involved in the main event. I hope Cody goes over. And the Cody thing, and we're super tangent, but the Cody thing is crazy because he's always gonna have that shadow. He's always gonna have that shadow of his dad. His brother did too. He's always gonna have the shadow of his brother as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that fucking match with his torn pec and like, the way going back to the docks, when the guys leave and they make something of themselves and they come back and Vince is like, that's what you had to do. I fucking told you. He really did it. Like he really went left, did the thing, seen the grass was in his green over there, came back. And I think it's his time. But like I hope Stone Cold's there, I hope The Rock's there, I hope Taker does some cool shit. I'm with you, Meelz. Like I hope they don't fuck up the Hall of Fame thing, because then it sets like a really weird precedence of guys getting beat up and now it's a whole different show.
The thing is that Ray can't realistically shout his son out now because his son's gonna get booed.
Hey man, he shot his son out. If he put over his son at WrestleMania, you ain't gotta give him a damn shout out. You know what I'm
right?
They getting money together. That's how you do it. Family business.
That's true. Got his son a Mania bag twice, brother.
Twice.
That's crazy.
I say all that to say I'm really excited about the event, and I appreciate you guys having me on here. And like, I feel like these days I read and watch YouTube clips way more than I actually watch the shows. But there's like there's this deep burning like desire to follow this shit that I will never be able to shake. So I'm excited for the weekend, and I'm excited to hear the shows. I'm excited to hear what you guys put together, because this is my favorite wrestling pod. So appreciate y'all having me.
That's a huge. Hey, I gotta drop the flex bomb for you on that.
That in the talk.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to come back when it's time to talk Phil. Like whatever he does, we still don't know what he's doing. But when it's time to talk Phil, bring me back.
When we figure out what he's doing with AEW, whether he returns or not, you're going to be the first person I call, Ben. So,
oh man,
I
cannot wait.
Episode,
I cannot wait to put CM Punk over, even though he's a terrible fucking person.
Hey everyone, follow Bans at Bansky on Twitter. If Twitter is still fucking around by the time this fucking episode comes out, we're losing our verified checks, Bans. It's been a good run.
I don't want it no more. Keep it, please. The Instagram one too. Take that one. I don't want that one either.
So thank you guys for listening. We'll be right back on the WrestleMania prediction party on the Egg Show.